I started this company 12 years ago, and from the beginning, I knew I wanted to build a brand. This week, we're going to show you what's behind the Filterbuy brand, take you behind the scenes of a rebranding process we recently completed, and share with you our newest brand strategies with my marketing team in Atlanta. No matter how good your marketing is, if you don't deliver a high quality product, then your marketing is going to go to waste. The stronger the brand is, the easier it is for us to sell into retailers. Brand is everything, and we made a big investment in brand in 2024. 16% of retail transactions happen online and 84% still happen in stores. It would be crazy for us not to have a in-store strategy. I'm thankful that I do not rely on YouTube to make a living because it is a lot more work than it looks. I'm really doing this to document what I'm doing and share the insights that I've got. And to be honest with you, have it all documented for my daughters who are quite young so that they can see what I was like when I was operating at my prime. And that's really like when I'm doing any of this content, they're actually the people that I think about. I really would appreciate it if you would comment and tell me, if you like it, if you don't like it, like what you're actually looking for, like what kind of insights you'd like to see, what you'd like me to show you. We'll do our best to deliver, but I gotta go to work. So in 2024, we completely rebranded from our logo to all of our filters and to all of the packaging for each of our filters. We really looked at the brand holistically and decided, okay, what do we want to be showing to our customers going forward? What do we want to stand for? How do we want to package it? There are so many components that go into a brand, especially the physical products of a brand. So if you look at these filters behind me, what pops out to me is, first of all, the green frame, right? In order to be able to achieve that, takes a lot of scale with your suppliers because they have to break down their machines to make the frames specifically for you or for us in this case. Negotiating with them, buying all the plates, graphics and logos and this kind of stuff to them for all of the 300 or so sizes that we buy from them. It's a big ordeal. We actually started this process in middle of 2023, and even today we have some frames that are not fully moved over to the new branding. We're probably 95% of the way there, but we're still not 100%, and we've been working on it for a year and a half. And that's just for the frame. We are in a position now where all of our systems are at a much higher scale than they were when obviously I was creating them. Whenever I am shifting those systems or changing those systems, I need to be a lot more measured about how I'm doing that, and I need to plan a lot more than I have historically, because changing the systems once they've expanded and grown is much more difficult than changing those systems early on. What that means for you, and my advice would be to be a little bit patient and really get your systems right so that when you scale those systems, you do not have to change them again, because changing them after they've already been established or solidified is just so much more difficult, particularly when you have people involved. When you're doing a rebrand, you kind of have no choice but to change those processes and change those systems. And it was extremely important for us as a brand to do that, but the planning and the cost associated with that was way more intense and way more expensive than I originally gave it credit for, because I still remember what it was like doing it when we were small, and it didn't seem like that big of a deal. It wasn't that hard because we were just kind of doing it all from scratch. Measure twice, cut once. That's how you got to think about any system that you're building in your business. One of the things I'm most proud about in our rebrand is our different color media. White for the MERV 8, yellow for the MERV 11, and the blue for MERV 13. When they all look the same, sometimes people make mistakes. But when we were going through this rebranding process, that was one thing that was non-negotiable for me, because I do think that it really just sends the right signal, the signal that I want to send to the customer, that you're getting a quality product and you're getting the product that you were promised, and we're giving you the visual cue of that in the media. And so that's why our media is different colors. We're wrapping up here in Talladega. We're gonna head over to Atlanta to meet with the marketing team. Launching in Walmart is huge for us. I'm just really excited to see what we're able to do in 2025. I've never actually been to the Filterbuy office here in Atlanta. We just moved into a new space on Peachtree, and little known fact, I was actually born in Atlanta and spent a decent amount of time here as a kid and have a lot of memories of being down here on Peachtree, but Atlanta's changed a lot since then. Good morning again, everybody. I've met most of you before, but there are a few new faces I haven't met. Andrew being the longest tenured employee 4 years ago, and I've been doing this for 12 years, which means that for the first 8 years, I did all the marketing myself. Not always good. It's such a interesting experience to come in here today and see all of you, kind of working towards this common goal, and it's really something I'm extremely excited about. I just came out from kicking off our 2025 marketing planning meeting, getting to articulate to all of them my vision, which is no different than what I've articulated to everyone on YouTube, but then giving them the chance to really ask me questions and to challenge me on certain things and to talk about what are their bottlenecks, what are the blockers for them, and actually being able to achieve that. We're going to spend most of the day planning and going through each of our initiatives for 2025.
Objectives for us from a marketing perspective were to increase new customer acquisition and to create brand love, right? In our goal to make Filterbuy a household brand name, we needed more people to know about us, to try us, and we needed to make sure that they loved us. If you look back at where the product was a year ago, just look at it here, right? From a consumer perspective, this is differentiated. When the consumer sees a green filter, they know that it's Filterbuy.
For our influencers, we don't necessarily look at the follower count because that doesn't really mean much. Followers can be bought very easily. We look at engagement rate and then engagement consistency and impression consistency.
So how much have we spent this year on influencers roughly?
We've spent a pretty substantial amount of money on influencers, around 390,000 because we have included our sweepstakes in that.
My thinking with it, and I'd be curious, I've opened this to discussion, but I think the sweepstakes is important is because it gives a call to action that is not buy air filters, which is a very tricky call to action. Very small percentage of those people that see that are gonna need to buy a filter in that moment. So we need them to remember us, and we want to have some type of relationship if we can with them. If I was an influencer out, talking about the Filterbuy brand, then you run out of things to talk about pretty quickly when you're talking about air filters, but it's a lot easier to put in a plug about, we're giving away a Jeep, don't forget to sign up kind of thing. Organic can also be a very great way to build brand, and maybe not transactional, but it's like if you become the knowledge base, if we're going to become the leading indoor air quality company, then you've got to have the expertise around that, right?
As part of it, we've done 17 videos, and 2 of them are HVAC with Dave, and they have been ranking very well already. So
it's a great idea, but I think we need to figure out a way to do that at some scale. It's like we need to have 1,700 videos like that. When building your brand, don't forget these fundamentals for success. First, you need to be patient. It takes time to build a reputation. Second, you need to be consistent. You need to deliver on your promises day in and day out. Third, you need to add value. In business and in life, giving more than you take is a winning strategy. Also, never forget, your brand is bigger than any one marketing campaign or logo. It's the reputation you've built with those you have encountered along the way. And that reputation must be protected at all costs. I have never been more excited going into a year than I am this year for 2025. People consistently overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they can do in a decade. And when I started this in 2012, I actually wrote some goals to myself, and I said, in 10 years, when I'm 40 years old, I want to be running a $70 million a year business. And I sit here, 11 years past that, meaningfully above that goal. And I encourage you to dream big, but then have a short-term bias to action, short-term goals that incrementally compound. You do that, you commit to that for 10 years, you'll be shocked how far you can go. I know I've been shocked, and I had what I thought were big expectations, in the beginning. I'm rooting for you to go out and find your path, your journey, what it is that you need to get out of life, and I encourage you to just go do it. So with that, signing off, have a good night. Don't forget to subscribe, because next week I'm taking you behind the scenes of Filterbuy's plunge into the retail space, a space that's wildly different than direct-to-consumer and has a much bigger learning curve than I first thought.
I think we built, the case study right here with Walmart. Now we're executing it. We're going to deliver that.
Something like 90 million consumers go into a Walmart every month. And if you want to be in front of those consumers, the only way to do that is to be in retail. Just started doing this about 2 months ago, and now we're shipping 20,000 a week, I was told yesterday. So you geared up pretty quick.
Yeah, yeah, had to.